This is a CBS News special report. I'm Carissa Lawson at CBS News headquarters in New York. We're coming on the air with breaking news. Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina has died. His office released a statement just now that reads, on the evening of Saturday, July 11th, U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham passed away from a brief and sudden illness. Senator Graham's family appreciates prayers at this time and asks for privacy during this incredibly difficult period. The office did not provide any additional details about the South Carolina Republican who was 71 years old. Graham was elected to the U.S. Senate in 2002 and was running for a fifth term. He had been a close ally of President Donald Trump and a longtime hawk on Iran. Graham was fresh off a trip to Kyiv, Ukraine, where he met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Friday. Graham mounted a brief bid for the party's presidential nomination during the 2016 campaign and later was a vocal critic of Donald Trump, the eventual GOP nominee. Yet Graham became one of Trump's closest allies in office, speaking with him frequently and becoming a regular presence on the golf course alongside the president. He especially advised the president on foreign policy matters such as Iran and Russia, and had just announced an agreement on Friday with the Trump administration to move forward on a package of Russia sanctions. Once again, South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham has died after what his office says was a brief and sudden illness on Saturday night.
I feel good about the Republican Party. We're killing all the right people and we're cutting your taxes.
Cutting your taxes and killing all the right people. That really is the crispest way to describe the marriage of libertarian economics and neocon foreign policy. Cutting taxes and killing. And if you think about it, who'd want to be associated with that? Cutting taxes itself is hardly a virtue. It's a contextual matter. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. It totally depends. But in Lindsey Graham's simplistic but heartfelt formulation, cutting taxes is just a positive good always. And so is killing people. Killing the right people. No, they got to be the right people, but killing people. Killing people is just a good thing. Like, it's one of those things you don't need to describe. It's like sex with your wife. It's just good. Have you killed someone today? Oh, good. You have? Okay, good. That's how he thinks of it. You're a sick fuck if you say something like that, much less if you believe it. Killing people? And if you're gleefully in front of an audience applauding like seals, bragging about the killing that you are doing, that's really evil.
Welcome to Occupy Democrats. And please gleefully hit that subscribe button if you think Lindsey is checking on Mitch right now.
How is he doing? Have you heard anything?
No, I'm going to go check right now with my office.
Okay.
And hoping and praying he's doing well, but I'm going to check just right now.
Is there
Yes, that's right. This morning, the world woke up to a brand new day, absent of the man best described earlier today by Steve Schmidt. Lindsey Graham was a simple, tragic man. He lacked a moral core. The great empty spaces of his life were filled with an insatiable need for relevance. He found it as a cast member in the most malignant reality show ever made. Okay, as one of the family. Hey, don't speak ill of the dead, Donald, because, as we certainly know, there was a time Lindsey could gleefully speak ill of you.
I want to talk to the Trump supporters for a minute. I don't know who you are, and I don't know why you like this guy. He's a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot. He doesn't represent my party. He doesn't represent the values that the men and women who wear the uniform are fighting for. I think he's a kook. I think he's crazy. I think he's unfit for office. And I'm a Republican, and he's not. He's not a conservative Republican. He's an opportunist. He's not fit to be president of the United States. He's disparaged women. He has an 80% disapproval rating among Hispanics. At the end of the day, he would be the most flawed nominee in the history of the Republican Party. He accuses most illegal immigrants of being rapists and drug dealers. He plays into the idea that maybe Obama is a Muslim. 70% of us in South Carolina believe that Donald Trump is not a conservative Republican. We think that he's unfit for office, that he would be a terrible commander-in-chief. He doesn't have the temperament or judgment. I think Donald Trump is a political car wreck.
And while there is little to say about Lindsey that's not being memed all over the internet,
Before I begin this lesson, I'd like to give all praises to the Most High Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai. Destroyed by a broken heart. So it's been said that he died of aortic dissection. That is a life-threatening tear in the inner wall of the aortic, that is the body's main artery, which forces blood to surge between the layers of the artery's wall. It is primarily caused by underlying damage to the aortic wall combined with high blood pressure. Now, of all of these reasons listed here, let's get to the one that probably is most likely, because this is what Esau likes to do. We're going to take a look at the lifestyle and stressors. And it reads, activities that trigger sudden dramatic spikes in blood pressure, such as cocaine use, can trigger a dissection, especially in those with pre-existing weakness. Now we know Esau Edom likes to recreational use drugs, and this is his main go-to one right here. And that might have been his demise. You see, the Lord has to take us off the earth some kind of way, and this is how he took him off the earth.
Lindsay fulfilled the meaning of his name. Lindsay translates to Island of Lynn or Island of the Linden Trees, combining the Old English lind, linden/lime tree, and e.g., island or marshland. Linden trees are large, graceful, deciduous trees. The asymmetrical leaves are heart-shaped and coarsely toothed. The fragrant cream-colored flowers are bisexual and pollinated by insects. The small globular fruits characteristically hang from narrow leafy bracts, which may aid in dispersal. The plants are easily cultivated by cuttings and grafting but are particularly prone to attack by aphids. Deciduous refers to plants, typically trees or shrubs, that seasonally shed their leaves, usually in the autumn, to conserve energy during cold or dry seasons. The term also applies to animal parts like antlers or baby teeth that are shed at a specific stage of development, example end of life cycle. How it works: before leaves drop, the plant reabsorbs valuable nutrients and pigments. This causes the leaves to turn vibrant shades of red, orange, and yellow before falling. Aphid, any of a group of sap-sucking, soft-bodied insects, order Homoptera, that are about the size of a pinhead, most species of which have a pair of tube-like projections, cornicles, on the abdomen. Aphids can be serious plant pests and may stunt plant growth, produce plant galls, transmit plant virus diseases, and cause the deformation of leaves, buds, and flowers.
Now here are just some facts. All of his people, all of the Edomites, knew that he was of the Lord, gonna burn those quacks, behaviorism, and his people, the Edomites, didn't reprove him, they didn't correct him. But we have to understand as Israelites, because you unrepentant Israelites don't understand this, but Israelites are not to engage in, not support in any way, nor ignore the sins of our people. Israelites are required to correct our people and to be a light or a source of knowledge unto the Gentiles. And this is what we're doing in this lesson. For all those who may come to see it. Now for our people. You sottish or stupid blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans in this country, and Israelites scattered all around the world, think in error. This is a major problem amongst our people. That correction is judgment. You think correction is judgment. The difference being that judgment requires the application of force upon a sinner as punishment, but the men of God, the men of the Lord's corrections are only verbal warnings, and you don't even like that. We're not dispensing any punishment upon you. We're just giving you a verbal warning. And this is another video epistle, another warning. You see, the Gentiles and heathen passed unlawful laws to support their wickedness and encourage the entire world to accept it and do the same. But the Lord, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and their seed after them, the Israelites, who is the father of all spirits, rejects it. So, how does the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who's renamed Israel, reject it? By his warnings from the beginning. And we're going to take a look at it. This is the warning from the beginning. Thou shalt not lie, that is, of sexual relations with mankind as with womankind. It is abomination. So what is an abomination? Worthy of or causing disgust or hatred by the Lord. And what happens when the Lord hates you? Punishment up and until death. We get punished up to 7 times for our sins up unto death. This is Leviticus 18 and 22. Now, you have to understand that this is what the Bible says in the law, but the Gentiles have a modern term that they call homosexuality or lesbianism. But it is an abomination, thus saith the Lord. Let's get some more scriptures. Israelites are not to join in what the Gentiles and heathen proclaim. They're not supposed to do it. And the scripture reads, defile not ye yourselves in any of these things. For in all these, the nations, the Gentiles and heathen, are defiled. What does defiled mean? Polluted and unclean, which I, the Lord, that is, cast out before you, before the Israelites. This is Leviticus 18 and 24. And this before we came into the land, and what's going to happen in the kingdom to come is they're going to be, all of the Gentiles are going to be put back in their lands, and the Israelites are going to rule upon the earth. That's Revelation chapter 5 and 10. So it's been said that the New Testament does not cover homosexuality, lesbianism, and all these other forms of sexual sin. But let's take a look. Because the New Testament rebukes or gives us a rebuke of the modern day rebranded Lord gonna burn those quacks. You see what it is, the LGBTQ. That's what it is, the Lord gonna burn those quacks. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools and changed the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like to corruptible man, and to birds, and four-footed beasts, and creeping things. Wherefore God also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, that is, of their own minds, because that's where your lust is, in your mind, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves, who changed the truth of God into a lie. That's what these Gentiles have done. They've always been against us, always caused our people, or given us, our people, a temptation to sin. And he goes on to read, and worshiped and served the creature more than the creator, who is blessed forever. You see, the creator is blessed forever, but not the creation. Amen, or so may it be. Let's finish it. For this cause God gave them up unto vile affections. What is a vile affection? It's a disgraceful or shameful affection. For even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature, that is, woman with woman. And likewise, also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one toward another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, that is, what is shameful and disgusting, and receiving in themselves that recompense or that reward for their error, which was meet. Meet means it was right and proper to punish them for their actions between woman on woman and man on man. We're not done yet. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate or a deprived mind to do those things which are not convenient, which are not proper, being filled with all unrighteousness, that is, a deed violating the law, immorality, fornication, which means adultery, homosexuality, lesbianism, intercourse with animals, idolatry, etc. Wickedness, which is evil purposes and desires, covetousness, which is greedy desire to have more, especially what belongs to others, maliciousness, which means wickedness that is not ashamed to break laws. You just don't care. That's how these Gentiles are. Who are the Gentiles? The Europeans who espouse all of this. They rule upon the earth. That's how we know that Esau, Edom today. They say that all the laws are done away with. They say that all the laws are done away with. You don't have to obey it. This has been propagated throughout the entire earth by them and amongst the Gentiles, and they love it. Full of envy, that is a painful or resentful emotion that occurs when you lack another person's qualities, achievements, or possessions, and either intensely desire them or wish that the other person lacked them. This is very prevalent within society today, especially under ruining all people music. For some reason, you black women and black men get upset when people in that ruining all people music, which is the judgment of the Lord that this happens though, you get jealous and envious of somebody who's in this ruining all people music, and you go out and you do things to them, and many of them have been killed. There have been hundreds of these so-called rappers, these ruining all people rappers, getting killed. Murder, which is killing not in factual self-defense, because people say it was self-defense when it's actually not. Debate, that is quarrels. Deceit, that is flattering, pleasing statements or actions designed to gently persuade or coax and deceive. Okay. Malignity, that is having a bad character and being disobedient. Whisperers, this is a big one. Spies, you spy on your own people at the hands of your enemies, getting paid by your enemies. Liars who secretly ruin a reputation. Backbiters, those are evil speakers of all kinds. Haters of God, which is the exceptional lack of respect and disobedience, which is wickedness. Now, who is that? All of the ones that say that the laws are done away with, and all the unrepentant Israelites that go along with it. Despiteful, that is a person who inflicts deliberate physical, deliberate emotional, or deliberate psychological abuse on someone. We're not done yet. We're getting there. Proud. A lot of proud people in this society. Esau is proud. All the Edomites on the planet are proud. They're coming against us. What is proud? Showing one's self above others. This is what racism, red supremacy is. Based upon the color of their skin, they made a difference between you and everybody that was not like them. Boasters, that is pretenders, one who brags, and a vagrant. What's a vagrant? A wanderer from place to place without a permanent home, regular employment, or visible means of financial support. Now, who did this upon the entire doggone earth? Esau, Edom. He's a vagrant. He's a vagabond. Inventors of evil things. Person having a highly harmful or destructive or deadly effect, often in a gradual, subtle, or gradual, unnoticeable ways. This is what happens. Through peace he shall destroy many. Becoming your friend, doing things for you just to set you up so he can take your place or destroy you. Disobedient to parents. That is, they're not compliant, and this is very important. Disobedient to righteous parents, not just parents in general, but righteous parents, parents that are going to teach these laws, statutes, and commandments in the faith of Yahweh Shai Mashiach, not just any parent. It's those teaching what the Lord wants all of the Israelites to know. Without understanding. What does this mean? Unintelligent, without the law, stupid. Because that's what you are when you're without the law. You're stupid. So all of the people who say the law is done away with, you're stupid. covenant breakers. That is, you're faithless, you're untrustworthy, and you are a betrayer of trust, unstable and dangerous, not only to yourself, but to others. They are without natural affection. That is, you're lacking compassion or sympathy toward your people, the Israelites. Implacable, that cannot be persuaded to enter into a covenant. You're a truce breaker. Unmerciful, the lack of having some mercy on your brethren. Who, knowing the judgment of God, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them. This is Romans chapter 1, verses 22 to 32. Very important scripture. When it's been said by the Gentiles that the Messiah, the Anointed, never talked about or against homosexuality and lesbianism, but he does. It's right here. The only reason why it is written here in Romans is, and you do know, if you don't know, now you know, that Paul was taught by the Anointed. Okay? He was taught by the Anointed. So let's get some more scriptures. This is the eternal, everlasting warning to coming generations. For if God spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell, which is here on the earth, delivered them into chains of darkness, which is being enslaved. When he's talking about Israelites, he's not talking about the angels. Angels means messengers. The messengers are the Israelites. To be reserved unto judgment, and spared not the whole world, but saved Noah, the eighth person, who was what? A preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly, and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah. You know what they were doing. A lot of them were, Lord, going to burn those quacks. How do we know? Because they wanted to know the angels, the two angels, remember? So, and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemned them with an overthrow, making them an example, which means example, unto those that after should live ungodly. And guess what? This man, LG, was living ungodly. He's a Gentile. This is what the Gentiles do. Most of them do live ungodly. All of them do live ungodly because they all go against the laws. And delivered just Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. That is, he was vexed with the ways of life of the wicked that were in Sodom and Gomorrah at the time. This is 2 Peter chapter 2, verses 4 to 7. The Lord commands Israelites to correct his people. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto all the congregation of the children of Yisrael. That is the only congregation. There's no such thing as congregation of the Gentiles, only a congregation of the children of Yisrael. And say unto them, Ye shall be holy, or set apart, for I, the Lord your God, am holy. Or set apart unto who? Unto the Israelites, and because he is holy, he does no wickedness. Verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart, in thy mind. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke, that is correct, thy neighbor, and not suffer sin upon him. So we see here that your brother is your neighbor. And we're talking about Israelites because we looked at verse 1. We're talking about the congregation of the children of Yisrael. It didn't include what they call the mixed multitude. The people that were brought out of Egypt, they were servants unto the Israelites. It didn't include them. Okay, it says right there in verse 1, all the congregation of the children of Yisrael. That's it. And they're going to obey the laws if we have them as servants. But they're not. This is directly the Lord speaking to Moses, to the Israelites. Because to every purpose there is a time and judgment. That's what you don't realize. You Gentiles don't realize. A lot of you unrepentant Israelites in Christianity, Catholicism, and Islam, you don't realize this. Therefore the misery of man is great upon him. For he knoweth not that which shall be. For who can tell him when it shall be? None of us can tell another when they're going to die or face the judgment for what they've done. There is no man that hath power over the spirit to retain the spirit. You can't control whether you live or die. Neither hath the power in the day of death. And there is no discharge in that war. Meaning it's going to happen. You're not getting away from it. Neither shall wickedness deliver those that are given to it. All this have I seen and applied my heart, my mind, unto every work that is done under the sun. Now this is Solomon. This is Solomon speaking here. There is a time wherein one man ruleth over another to his own hurt. And that's what's happened to Esau, Edom. He's ruled over Jacob to his own hurt. Because he has a perpetual hatred. He exercises his wickedness and evil with a continual stroke. He is keeping us subject to payments, extracting us of all kinds of resources at his will. So let's finish this out. Verse 10. And so I saw the wicked buried, and this is what we're seeing today with LG. He's going to be buried, who had come and gone from the place of the holy, and from amongst the Israelites that are scattered around the world, warning everyone on the planet, and they were forgotten in the city where they had so done. We are forgotten in the city where we correct the people. This is also vanity or meaningless, because sentence, here's the point, because sentence against an evil work, against how you live your life, like LG did, is not executed speedily. Therefore, the heart or mind of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil, to continue doing what you're doing. Though a sinner do evil 100 times, and his days be prolonged, as you saw LG and many others, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear God, which fear before him. Verse 13. But it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days. This pertains to Israelites and Gentiles alike, which are as a shadow. Your life is as a shadow, because he feareth not before God. Anybody that does what LG is doing does not fear before the Lord. 14. There is a vanity or meaninglessness which is done upon the earth, such as what we're talking about today, that there be just men unto whom it happeneth according to the work of the wicked. Again, because they're leading us to sin, okay? They're leading us to sin. They're providing temptation to sin. Again, there be wicked men to whom it happened according to the work of the righteous. I said that this is also vanity. 15. Then I commended mirth, or that is happiness and joy, because a man hath no better thing under the sun than to eat and to drink and to be merry. For that shall abide with him of his labor. What is his labor? Our labor as Israelites is obedience to laws, statutes, and commandments. The days of his life, of our life, which God giveth him under the sun. The Lord wants to see whether we're going to obey or not. We get to hear or forbear. We get to listen and obey, or forbear, not listen, and be rebellious, stiff-necked, obstinate. Now this has been Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verses 6 to 15. And this is the point that you need to understand. The Lord controls all things. He that is our God, he's the Israelites' God, is the God of salvation. What is salvation? Being liberated, preserved, having a remnant, and delivered from moral troubles, and we are freed. We are not free today. You think you're free, but you're not. We are not free from under the hands of these Gentiles, nor their influences. You're influenced by their social media, people they use as name recognizers, so-called celebrities. It goes on to read. And unto God, the Lord, belong the issues, that is, the things that go forth from death. okay, from death, whether it be natural or not. Okay, everything is really natural, is natural. Okay, death is natural in our present state. And this has been Psalms chapter 68 and 20. And I'll leave you in the most capable hands of Most High Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai.